Hi there, Gemini. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for November. There's an opportunity this month to transform some elementary but practical areas of your situation. Doesn't sound very sexy, does it? But you know, it is so richly promising. I do think you should really be up for it. The big news really kicks in on the 3rd when there's a solar eclipse, which gives you an opportunity over the next 6 months to grapple with your overall life structure. If things are a bit disorganized, or you find it hard to keep up with all your domestic chores, or perhaps even there's a bit too much reliance on convenience foods, you don't cook enough food from scratch, you don't get enough exercise, you perhaps got a few vices which are perhaps rather out of control, well, this solar eclipse is pushing you to take more responsibility for how you can clean up your act. It also can see you make fantastic progress in the next 6 months around your work situation in terms of finding a way of earning a living which is more fulfilling for you, in a way that you can help others too, something that's very, very gratifying. And why is this? Well, because this solar eclipse combines with other planets. It's influenced by Mars, it's influenced by Pluto, but also by Saturn. Now, Saturn, of course, has got an awesome, but not necessarily a very nice reputation. And if you think back over the last 13 months, it's possible you have started to understand much more about your health, welfare, work issues. You've taken more responsibility, you've been pitching in more, perhaps you've given up something that wasn't very good for you in that time, or if you have felt underpowered or not very well. And this can be just minor ailments like headaches, tiredness, irritability, stuff like this. Don't discount the importance that your overall life activities are having upon you. So this solar eclipse is an opportunity to bring out the new brew, to approach things in a fresh way. It's not necessarily going to see you make immediate progress because your ruler Mercury is twisting backwards in a retrograde through to the 10th. And there may be some niggles, ironically, in all the areas I'm talking about, which prove to be frustrating and downright irritating. But once Mercury starts to go forward from the 11th, I think you can start to really surf the available energy that's there for you. So what is this? Well, Mars is saying be practical about home stuff. So if there are some changes you need to make, get your sleeves rolled up and get involved in some do-it-yourself projects. If you're not into that, perhaps get someone local to help you. A reorganisation can make you feel much more settled in your domestic environment. Also, if you are falling back too much on foods which are easy to cook, quick, convenient, but perhaps not very nutritious, maybe it's time to get the recipe books out and try to be that much more virtuous in your approach. If you're in a job which is dull and boring, get your CV sharpened up and start looking for opportunities to reach out. Pluto will help you in this regard too. But with Saturn there, none of this is going to change without application and hard work on your part. Now, Venus is in a delicious part of your horoscope for the first 4 days of this month, your relating sector, and something really quite nice could have shaped up in recent weeks. But then it moves on the 5th into a deeper, more passionate area, but it could see you benefit financially from someone else. Watch this space, and particularly watch out for week 3 of this month, because Venus will go alongside Pluto. Something that never seemed that it would be possible could transform then to the positive for you. But equally, someone could try to manipulate you over a financial or even romantic issue at that time. Stand strong if that's the case. Now, Jupiter is going to be starting to go backwards too, and we get all sorts of retrogrades, movements back and forwards. Neptune also moves direction this month too. But the 2 planets I want to talk to you about that are pretty constant this month are Uranus and Pluto. Now, Uranus and Pluto have been broadly not on very good terms for some time. That continues. For you, Uranus is in the most noble, the most idealistic part of your horoscope. Pluto is in a very business-like one. And unfortunately, at times, you might have to put your ideals to one side, particularly in the first 2 weeks of this month, if you do want to pay the bills. But equally, it could arouse something. Something could come up or explode into the open. But if it does, ultimately, it could turn out to be a good thing. Watch out for the full moon on the 17th too. that's an opportunity to also grapple with your financial situation, especially if you're spending too much in the here and now. Look to trim your budget, and if that means living within your means, so be it. It is a more difficult time in general for the world, but if you can be disciplined, it can start to give you a greater sense of self-esteem. Strangely, in the first or the last week of this month, Venus and Jupiter are going to be going opposite, and you may have an opportunity to have a real breakthrough moment, a real windfall, but you may find it very difficult to keep any winnings in your pocket for very long. The last 10 days of this month puts the emphasis back on relationship matters, reaching out, looking for ways to cooperate and to collaborate with others. You can also see you be more competitive, and it can be good for your romantic situation too. And remember, with Venus in its most passionate part of your horoscope all this month, the more sexy side of life really can bubble up at times, particularly when she goes alongside Pluto in week 3. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.